Theme 26. Through the Ages 2. 1. Nostalgic. Nostalgic. Example.
What have you got to say for yourself, Jimmy? As adults, we admire the lap from a nostalgic distance.
And yet, I'm growing nostalgic about my country of birth. I want to be in India and in the US at the same time.
2. Prior. Prior. Example.
Birds spend weeks preparing for the intense journey by gorging on large quantities of food, sometimes doubling their weight prior to departure.
Bringing up 3 children when you're the world's richest family seems like a social experiment without much prior art.
3. Punctual. Punctual. Example.
Here's a couple of ways to think about this value. Showing up when you say you will is about being punctual.
Everything's very clean, no petty theft, and everything's very punctual there.
4. Time-consuming. Time-consuming. Example.
But could the disappearance of juries be a good thing? Well, juries aren't perfect. They're costly, time-consuming, and may make errors.
They were unbelievably expensive to administer, they were time-consuming, they were limited to the local jurisdiction in which they'd been created.
5. Erode. Erode. Example.
Stars explode, mountains erode, and buildings, plants, and animals are all slowly but surely pulverized into fine gray powder. Within 20 years, sidewalks have been torn apart by weeds and tree roots. Around this time, flooded tunnels erode the streets above into urban rivers.
6. In time. In time. Example.
They can turn to historical documents to find the exact colors that would recreate a moment in time.
What are you and your identity? Because you stitch your experiences and your thoughts into a continuous person moving forward in time.
7. Lose track of. Lose track of. Example.
You'll never lose track of your things again. The GPS dot will fundamentally reorder your life.
Well, I thought when you're looking at information at this level, it's so easy to lose track of what you're doing.
8. Subsequently. Subsequently. Example.
Dr. Healy then subsequently became the first female director of our National Institutes of Health.
Brave. I was referred to a psychiatrist who likewise took a grim view of the voice's presence, subsequently interpreting everything I said through a lens of latent insanity. For example, I was part of a student TV station.
9. Happen. Happen. Example.
Both of those actually happen. Pretty much a good rule with viruses is anything that can happen does happen.
Today, not so much. The revolution for human equality can happen. It is happening. It will happen.
10. Greek. Greek. Example.
English letters, Greek letters, superscripts, subscripts. It can look like an illegible jumble.
The location of the other ray will determine the magnitude of this angle, represented by the Greek letter theta.
11. Visit. Visit. Example.
And we can show in that way that the pleasant life is enhanced. Gratitude visit. I want you all to do this with me now, if you would.
And so if you have time, and I encourage you, please visit microsculpture.net and go and have a play.
12. computer, computer. Example.
In cosmological terms, that was about 10 minutes ago. Finally came mankind's most advanced and mysterious tool, the computer.
February 2001. Dear Nina, we have found out that you've been doing my letters on the computer.
13. Ditch, ditch. Example.
But I will say the answer that I did come up with that I think makes the most sense. Anyone can dig a ditch, but it takes a real man to hide the body.
Resistance against colistin, a last-ditch antibiotic, had been discovered. Colistin is an old drug and was rarely used because it can damage the liver.
14. Thousand, thousand. Example.
It's going to put about 1,000 people to work, building a state-of-the-art facility.
Now make 1,000 more worlds and 1,000 more solar systems and let them run.
15. Hundred, hundred. Example.
100 years ago, Albert Einstein first published his theory of general relativity.
1 in 100. And only 1 in 500 of them had a plan about what to do if they became seriously ill.
16. Wooden, wooden. Example.
Is so underdeveloped that the people would be defending themselves against our tanks with literal bows and arrows and wooden spears?
Do you remember wandering as a child through those dark wooden storefront galleries?
17. Cave, cave. Example.
We named this cave Snow Dragon Cave because it was like a big dragon sleeping under the snow.
Whether in cave paintings or the latest uses of the internet, human beings have always told their histories and truths through parable and fable.
18. Future, future. Example.
And it was the first time that I had saw a glimpse of hope, a future. He gave me this brief description of what stocks were, but it was just a glimpse.
Scary future, scarce food, and no opportunities to change their situation.
19. Year, year. Example.
And so this does happen. It happens about once a century, and we just missed one last year.
And studies were showing that air pollution in the region was causing 3,500 premature deaths every year.
20. Month, month. Example.
And he soon ran out of excuses to explain his many absences as he worked red-eyed, night after night, month after month.
And with these mobile phones, we transmit more than 600 terabytes of data every month.